North South Connection. Welcome to the most extreme menage a trois violence you'll ever experience here on the Extreme Three-Way Dance. JC, Jenny, and Matt taking you through the history of ECW wrestling. Started in February 1994, and here we find ourselves in February of 2000 on the final stretch of Extreme Championship Wrestling history. We're doing that on the North South Connection simulcast, both audio and video. Audio on any podcast application not named Spotify, bitches, and on video on our YouTube channel on the North South Connection, where we have all kinds of cool content. We have modern day PLE previews and post game shows, as well as a lot of classic content covering the Monday Night Wars, NXT here on ECW, of course, WWE pay-per-views across the board. And also we are paying tribute right now to the year 1995 with wrestling, sports, and pop culture under the tag NoSo 95. So check that out. We have some cool stuff coming, including, Jenny, a live watch of Bash at the Beach 1995, which should be a lot of fun. A group project you're cooking up. So be sure to check all that out. But here tonight, we are back in the land of extreme. And how are you both doing?
The voice crack. The voice crack in your intro was very good there. I enjoyed that. Whether it was intentional or not, I don't know. Extreme. Very Tony Chimmel of you.
Okay. Well, that's who I aspire to be. Is Jean C.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's head over to ECW on TNN from February 4th, 2000. We open in the ring in Fort Lauderdale, and I got to say that one slow because that's a tricky one for the accent. That could slip out. Fort Lauderdale is not far behind.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I wanted to do this show tonight. Okay.
Your inner northeast is showing.
Fort Lauderdale. We open up there. Joey and Joel Gertner are soaking up the hot crowd. Joey kicks things off. Joel does his shtick. We get a reference to Elian Gonzalez. The crowd chants, send him back. We cut to Cyrus backstage demanding the truck cut Gertner's mic. And he takes a shot at Castro. Cyrus apologizes to the fans, having to watch this biscuit-fed porker try and get himself over at the expense of the talent. Cyrus says he warns Gertner every week, but maybe he should be sent to the Rock and Bowl set to do commentary there. He can do a one-legged chicken dance when someone bowls a spare. Gertner has heat with the office, the boys, and the network, and that's something you don't want. Before Cyrus can continue, we hear Fonzie's whistle, and he and Rob Van Dam walk by arguing. RVD says he wants to do this right now, but Fonzie is saying it's a big money match and to wait to make it happen. RVD says it's not about the money. Everyone wants this, including the fans. Fonzie keeps trying to slow him down, but RVD shrugs him off and goes storming into Awesome's locker room. RVD says that Mike Awesome knows why he's here, and Awesome tells him to bring it. So RVD dives at him. They go crashing through a random table. They're throwing punches on the floor. Judge Jeff Jones shoves Fonzie, but Spike Dudley comes in and puts Jones through another table with an acid drop. Officials pour in and try to break things apart, but they shove the camera out of the room. As part of it, Cyrus slams the door and says the network will not tolerate violence and rolls us to the open. Hot start. I always like these ECW tracking shots that we get here. I like the close with Cyrus still kind of waiting out there and trying to regroup after the violence. We are careening at a hectic pace toward Rob Van Dam versus Mike Awesome, which is really cool. We know Sabu obviously is out of the picture now. So we're down to these two. And my only qualm is the random tables. And also, no one's doing an acid drop in a barroom brawl. Like, it's funny to me that Spike comes into these brawls and breaks out acid drops. But Matt, what do you think? This is a really great open.
Wouldn't you shit if you saw an acid drop thrown in a barroom brawl at some point?
What are we talking about?
That'd be a hell of a thing. We're instantly dating this show right off the top with an Elian Gonzalez reference. Like, holy shit, I was not expecting that. So that was very interesting. The brawl in the locker room was really well done. The table just showing up out of nowhere was very funny to me, but it was pretty well done. Like Jeff Jones eating shit was fantastic. And it really is something just how quickly TNN has become like the main heel in the company, like damn near overnight. It's fascinating to see. And I know I keep saying it, but boy, it's a slippery slope. If you keep going after the network that fucking covers your ass every week.
They're going to know by now, like they're one and done. So they're probably like, whatever. Yeah. And I also think they looked like they were probably frustrated. And then they're like, how can we make this work? And they're like, well, look back at 1997 where we built the entire feud around another promotion that wasn't really even around for most of the time,
Right.
and it worked well, right? So they kind of did the same concept here. They're
Yeah.
like, instead of Lawler or whoever, we have Cyrus just repping the network, and that's it. That's all we need. Because he can talk so well, and now everything else it just builds around it.
It's fascinating to see because like TNN could very easily go like, no, we're not fucking tolerating this and just yank them at, you know. So it's really interesting to see just how many pot shots they're taking all of a sudden and how the network is the #1 heel in the fucking company. It's kind of wild.
What do you think, Jenny?
Yeah, but does it wear thin though? Like, how much more of this are we gonna like be in for? Is it gonna be a couple months? Is it a couple weeks?
I feel like they have to evolve it at a certain point more than just these pot shots.
I low key feel like it's just started. Like,
Yeah,
because it's really just been Cyrus arguing with Gertner. Like, we haven't had any kind of network backed group or wrestlers even show up yet in this.
Right.
So I would say we're more near the beginning than the end.
Okay. Do y'all want to see more of that? Like, is that like you're down for more?
If it's not just Gertner, like against Cyrus leading to a match with them
Cyrus.
or something.
Okay. Yes.
If it's Cyrus like repping the network and having like a heel stable
right.
of network chosen wrestlers to take on the ECW legend guys that are old and fat and not network darlings, like I think that has potential.
Which one of these would be network darlings for TNN? So,
like a Carino, like young guys, like with a future, right? Rhino, Carino,
Credible seems like the type of
shit the Impact players, like those guys,
pump a network,
right? And then they're like, oh, we don't want the violent thugs that are washed up and fat and gross, like Dreamer and Sandman, New Jack, and these other guys, right? Even Awesome could be a network guy. Like they could make him into like try and refine. That could be a story they do. Like we're going to refine Mike Awesome into being a network ready wrestler or something, you know?
All right. Yeah, no, I liked it too. Cyrus just saying cut his mic is funny to me. And yeah, to deport that kid from Cuba line was very dated, as Maddie said. Who broke their leg? Was it Fonzie or was it Judge Jones?
I think Jones.
Jones? Okay, I thought so too. I just heard somebody scream, I broke my leg.
I think it was Jones.
Yeah.
All right. So all that said, we get our opening animation. Joey hypes up the night ahead, including the return of Dusty Rhodes to the ring. And Joel's still pissy about Cyrus cutting him off. And speaking of Dusty, here we go. As Steve Carino and Rhino take on Tommy Dreamer and the American Dream, baby. Dusty Rhodes, Carino, and Rhino are in the ring, pacing as Tommy saunters out with Francine and the Dream. Joey knows this is Dusty's first match in 6 years, which I believe would have been War Games '94.
Yeah, it must have been.
The crowd is pumped for Dusty as we settle in and revisit what happened with Dusty and Carino's crew. As guilty as charged. We head to the break where we see, we'll just call him James Vandenberg for now. They're kind of dodging what his name is a lot. I don't know if they decided what he's going to be. I'm guessing Vandenberg was probably copyrighted.
I don't even know my name.
And I'm a man of the cloth. He's talking to Raven in a desolate stairwell. And he asks him to confide in me. Let your troubles out. Raven says his problem is he wants to know why Tommy thinks he needs Francine to plot a strategy for him and Dusty, and that the real reason is he just doesn't want her hanging with him. And now no one listens to his problems. He's whining, and Paul Heyman cuts in and says, what the fuck are you doing? He drags Vandenberg off and says, Raven is disturbed. Vandenberg stops at the camera and says, this is why Raven is a perfect disciple. Before he can finish, Heyman shoves him away and says, again, what is wrong with you? You're not even a real priest. Raven says, well, he has a collar, and at least he's listening to me. Paul says he doesn't, and that Paul doesn't return my calls, and no one listens to me, including my own parents. Paul tells the cameraman to put the camera down, which he does, but he leaves it running. And we hear Paul tell Raven he has to stop with this stuff about being sacrificed for Tommy and Francine's sins. He needs to snap out of it. Raven says, if I snap out of this, I may just snap overall because I'm sick and tired. Paul says he's going down the wrong path again, and he'll never come back. And Paul will not be able to help him if he does. Raven asks Paul if he's ever helped him before, and we fade out. So before we get to the match, Jenny, what did you think of this interesting turn? It's like we've had this open question: is Raven playing mind games with Francine? Is he fucking with Tommy? Is he being earnest in his wanting, reception from Tommy? And he started to feel like he's being ignored. Where does Vandenberg play into that? Do you like him in this role as like kind of being the evil muse, like trying to stir some shit up here? And maybe if he is going to be some kind of evil priest, like bringing Raven into his group, I guess.
Yes.
What do you think of this whole thing?
The show needs more evil priests. So
I've always said that. Yeah,
I'm fucking on board for this. I love Paul. He's like, get the fuck out of here. And I like it too, where he tells him to put the camera down, and he kind of like does it, but you still see and hear. And
right.
But what does Raven want to say? What he's like, everybody's ignoring me, nobody listens to me. Like,
his
what
feelings.
is he trying to?
You know, some of his feelings of rejection.
Okay, but I feel like everybody listens to him. Like,
nobody's stopping him. He can just say things.
He can say whatever
Tommy's
he
been
wants.
kind of a dick. He yelled at him when he was looking at the static on the TV. Like, he's kind of had it with his shit.
Well, that was a little weird.
Yeah, maybe they needed a little bit more segments where he was being pushed aside or whatever. Like, Francine seems to be on his side,
Well, he said that, though. He said, Francine listens to me, but now Tommy won't let her talk to me anymore, basically, because of it.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was very good. I thought the Paul stuff was very funny. It never returned my phone call. When did you ever help me? It seemed like Raven was shooting a little bit.
Yeah.
It definitely had a very vibes, that scene.
Yeah, it definitely felt like this was more true to life maybe than they were trying to put over, but it was interesting to see. Like the Heyman thing was I like him shoving the cameraman, like you said. That was really well done. And I'm kind of interested where this goes now with the whole Vandenberg situation. And Raven at one point said, oh, you want me to snap fully? Like, yes, that's what I want. Like, fucking something other than sitting in a fucking stairwell crying. Like, God, like, just do something. We've been doing this in September. We get it.
You're so fucking emo, Raven. Damn.
I know. It's like, holy shit, man. Like,
nobody wants to listen to you because we're tired of listening to you.
Yeah, that's probably part of the problem. That's a good point.
Well, we come back. Steve Corino has the mic. He's ripping into Tommy, tells him to turn around and tag that fat old pathetic piece of garbage into the ring because this is his night. Tommy looks at Dusty, who's chuckling. The crowd calls for him. Corino again demands and threatens to have Rhino in his career. Tommy balls his fist, turns and tags Dusty to a pop. And Dusty's in his bag. He's strutting around, cock of the walk, smack talking Corino. Corino threatens a punch, but instead grabs a side headlock. Dusty breaks that. Corino ducks an elbow and tags Rhino. Tommy comes in to get in between them, but Dusty pushes Tommy to the apron, goes to the eyes and takes down Rhino and hooks a figure four. Jack Victory comes in, but Tommy takes him down and puts him in a figure four. Corino comes in, Francine takes him down, and we get a trio figure four leg locks. The holds get released. Corino's crew bails out to the floor. Dusty follows and shoots Corino to the ring steps and the railing as Tommy throws Rhino into the crowd. Corino is bleeding, of course, as Dusty's hammering on him. Tommy and Rhino are back at ringside and brawling. Dusty chops away at Corino as Rhino turns the tide with a chair shot to Tommy's back. Dusty and Corino head into the ring. Dusty is slugging away at the cut. Tommy tags in and drops an elbow, shoots Corino back outside. He follows, but Rhino comes over for the save and crotches Tommy in the railing. Rhino throws Tommy back inside. He gets to work with stomps as Tommy tries to do his stupid zip line to tag. Rhino keeps peppering away and then gores Tommy into the corner before choking him. Slams Tommy, gets a top rope splash for two. Rhino gets another two on a suplex, but gets crotched on the top rope. Tommy follows with a superplex. We get a double tag. Dusty's in hot with the flip-flop and fly. Rhino and Tommy are back in. They beat on Rhino and Corino with punches, but when they try double whip, Corino reverses Tommy, and he runs right into a hard gore. Dusty knocks down Corino. He slams Rhino, but misses the bionic elbow. Rhino wrecks him with a lariat, stomps on Dusty, and wants to powerbomb him, but Tommy makes a save with a chair shot. It drops a DDT on Rhino, and Dusty slams Corino off the top and pins him with the bionic elbow. This was fun. It was kind of a throwback, had some good energy and vibes. Dusty was fun in the ring. It looked pretty good. Tommy took his usual beating. They protected Rhino, of course. You knew he was not taking a pin in this match. And Carino, it's kind of a who cares at this point. He can eat loss after loss. It doesn't matter. We'll see if Dusty sticks around, or if this was just building to a selling out Fort Lauderdale, Dusty's kind of home area, or if he'll stick around. So 2.5 for me, Matt. It was a fine TV match and more of a footnote of Dusty's return.
Yeah, I went 2 3/4 on it. It was more fun than good, if that makes sense. Like, I thought Dusty was a ton of fun in this match. His presence carried it a lot, just his mannerisms and everything. And for a guy who hadn't wrestled a match in 6 fucking years, like, he looked, and for his age and whatnot, he looked pretty damn good. I mean, it was a basic match, but it was kind of all it needed to be because the crowd was going to eat up just damn near everything Dusty did. So it was a fun brawl, and I'm curious to see what ends up happening with Dusty too. So fun stuff, and I'm glad they showed like the full match on TV too, which I wasn't sure if they were going to do. So I was happy with that. So 2 3/4 for me, Jenny.
It was a fun little beatdown, and Dusty, bless his heart, is out there in blue jeans.
Yeah,
This man. What they say, 300 pounds? Okay, all right, Dusty.
Maybe 450, I'll believe.
Honey bun. Oh, I don't know about that, but he was stuffed into those jeans and that shirt. So, but anyway, he's fun. I mean, it's Dusty. So he elevates everything that they do, even Tommy's stupid zip line that he insists on doing every time now.
That's stupid.
I like Carino bleeding. I like the superplex off the top by Tommy. Like, your back is not in good shape. You probably shouldn't do that too many times, but you can still do it, so that's good. I did 2.5.
I'm going to zip line my way into this hot tub where the Impact players are with Dawn Marie, who is looking extremely hachi-machi. And she's excited the camera's there. Lance Storm says, the tradition of champions from Calgary, they're going to defend the titles every night. The problem is they don't want to defend against inferior talent. They need teams that'll step up. Credible tells the teams to fight amongst themselves, and when the right team is ready, they'll let everyone know. Storm says it's time for the manager to get naked. Dawn's excited. She's going to strip down and be a star on TNN, but she can't reach her bikini tie, so Jason gets in the water and instead takes his suit off and says, I love being naked. Dawn tells him to be careful because the water's hot, and Jason says it's also very deep and chuckles, and Dawn just grimaces. So funny stuff. I mean, it's nonsense, but Dawn is really good as kind of the ditzy starlet. And plays this role really well. Storm incredible, just living it up as champs, and then Jason being a putz as always. He's come a long way from getting his face bitten off by Pitbull one.
A long way down, you mean? But what does he mean that the water's hot and it's also very deep?
I think he means it contains his giant penis. The water's deep, so it can handle it.
Okay.
I don't know what else it would be besides that.
Yeah, I was trying to figure it out. It didn't really work for me. Anyways, that was fun. I don't know if you wanted to do all the segments here before we talk about
No, let's do that one first.
Do that one first.
You fooled me that saying that the Impact players were there. I was busy staring at Dawn. Apparently, the Impact players said things and talked during this segment. But fucking, you got me. I don't fucking know what they said. I was busy.
They always take advantage in Florida of giving us some sort of bikini, back in the day on the beach with Beulah and whoever else was there, and it feels like we've had multiple.
Francine's done it with Shane.
Yeah, right. They were in the water. Yep.
Yeah, Tammy.
Yep, we always get something. Backstage, Danny Doring is with Roadkill and Elektra, and they talk about the Impact players, how all the teams are hunting the gold, and they deserve a shot and to be holding the straps on their waists. Imagine the money and fame that comes with being champions. Doring says all the belts also come with women. Elektra slaps him and says, Daniel Christopher Doring, and that when you win the belts, you better not forget where you came from. Elektra stops and asks the cameraman what that shot is. And you hear Paul backstage or behind the camera saying 3/4. So she says, move up more so you don't see, we don't see what happens. And she grabs Danny by the balls, berates him and says, if he forgets where he came from, she'll snap it off. Elektra takes her robe off and calls out Dawn as well. She kind of pumps her tits up and Roadkill stares and says chickens. Big night for Elektra here. A lot of focus on her. And it seems like, we go through the iterations of cat fights. It seems like Dawn versus Elektra is going to be the next one on the docket.
Yeah.
How you feeling about that, Matt?
You know you fucked up when you get the full name. If you get the full name, you're just
Mhm.
you're in deep fucking trouble. So Doring should have known right
You
away.
think
as soon as-
Christopher was really his middle name? Or did it just sound good?
I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know why they'd necessarily
No,
lie
I gotta
about
look
it.
it up.
Like if it was
No.
Christopher, like why wouldn't they change it? You know,
Maybe it was like a Sopranos reference.
You know-
No.
probably. I think it was a Sopranos reference.
Well, his real name is Daniel Morrison. It does not say what his middle name is, sadly.
That's why I don't know why they would say Christopher. That doesn't. Why not Daniel Morrison Doring?
That would have been funny.
Yeah, what the hell?
Did you enjoy Alexis Tith, Jenny?
I sure did. I just enjoy her, like that detail where she's like, "What's the shot?" Three-fourths, getting closer. Like that's a little detail. It's a cleverness on her part. As much as Dawn Marie is doing Dipsy over here, Electra is street smart, right? She's kind of dialed in. She kind of knows what she wants, and she is kind of the leader of the outfit, really. So she's kind of like really grown on me, and she looks great.
Them as a group have been real good. Like,
Yeah,
they really come a long way. This kind of in that vein of the old Stevie Richards Corrido climb.
pretty much.
They've really worked their way up from a low card act to being a really good team in the ring.
Yeah.
And having some good character work. Joey and Joel are in the nest. Joel says Electra has Doring by the Danaconda, and it's like they're married. And he talks about troubled marriages never working out, including ECW and TNN. There's nothing worse than an overbearing, unappreciative spouse. And Joey shakes his head. So
Yeah.
there's that dig. Joey then hypes the website and the rest of the show. And we go backstage where a very disheveled Mikey Whipwreck is staring angrily in the mirror. Keeps saying, "I'm not a baby." And all the mommies would love to have their sons grow up to be like him because he's talented enough to beat Scorpio for the TV title and hardcore enough to carry Cactus Jack to a tag title and extreme enough to win the world title from the Sandman. And after tonight, all his friends will come to the locker room, raise some hot cocoa and a toast to him as the new television champion. Mikey does a cactus bang bang, stares at his finger, puts it to his head, and then says bang. Mike is clearly going insane, oscillating between, mommy issues, infantilism, and suicidal thoughts. If I had to diagnose.
Who among us? We've all been there.
Jenny, what are your
Easy
thoughts on
for
this
you
turn
to
for
say.
Mikey? Because we've been waiting for a story for him. Did you
I
expect it to be
know.
this?
Not loving it, you guys. I'm not saying he's not good at it. Like I feel like he does all right at it, but it's just not what I want to see. Really, I would love a hero Mikey or something like that. I don't know, and it felt like a ripoff, right? He's like does the bang or whatever, and he says he carried Cactus to the tag titles. That was pretty funny too, but I don't know. Like I said last time, I'm willing to go on this journey. We'll see when the jump the shark moment is.
What if he's a unhinged hero? Would that work? Because I don't hate the unhinged thing, to be honest.
I don't hate it either.
He's doing it well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. But I don't know.
Even though the
It
baby
needs
thing
to
kind of
be-
came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
It's
the
like,
baby thing sucks.
That's the
is
weird
anyone
thing.
actually calling
That's-
him a baby? Like, I'm
that's
okay with him
the
being a psycho, but the babies and mommies thing is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it leads to him trying to find parental figure to help navigate him, like that could be good. Like maybe that's where it goes. Like he's looking, someone's gonna fill that void for him, right? Maybe
Yeah.
it feels like that's what he's looking for. All right, to the ring we go. TV title on the line. Rob Van Dam versus Mikey Whipwreck. RVD and Fonzie come out to a big pop and the usual long entrance. Joey and Joel talk about RVD's reign and ask how many title changes WWF and WCW have had since April 1998 when RVD won a strap. Joey says you can't even find someone in the WCW office to name all the champions for the past 2 weeks. Mikey starts things hot with the baseball side as Van Dam is still on the floor, peacocking for the fans. Mikey hits a Pescado, takes RVD hard into the railing, peppers away, pushes the champ into the post, gets a Rana on the floor. Mikey gets a slingshot guillotine elbow for 2 as we head back in the ring. Mikey heads up top, and it's a flying clothesline. RVD comes back with a spin heel kick to finally slow the challenger down. RVD hammers and kicks at Mikey, hits an atomic drop before skateboard drop kicking a chair into his face. Outside, RVD shoots Mikey to the railing, kicks him into the crowd, and then hangs him on the railing and hits a corkscrew leg drop off the apron. Back inside, Van Dam gets 2 on a cartwheel splash, kicks away before hitting Rolling Thunder. Mikey avoids a monkey flip, snaps RVD onto the chair of the German for 2. We get a series of reversals into a pedigree on the chair from Mikey. As Joey says, the pedigree is not enough to finish RVD. And Joel says, no matter who applies it. RVD floats out. Which is not true. RVD floats out of a whippersnapper, hits a Van Daminator. Fonzie comes in, sits on a chair in the corner as RVD leaps over him with a picture-perfect 5-star frog splash for the win in a fun match with a hectic pace. Really good offense for both guys. The crowd was into it. Just a classic RVD TV title defense where he goes off, shows off, gives some offense, and finishes flawlessly. So Jenny went 2 3/4. This is just what it needed to be on TV.
I mean, you can't have a better match than this. A title defense on TV, and Mikey looks good, but he got a little offense in because he surprised RVD in the beginning of the match. And really, RVD gets his number pretty quickly and then kind of swats him down. So, I mean, as fun as Mikey is, he's really no competition for RVD. Yeah, I don't know. There's a couple of good 2 counts in there. Nothing to be ashamed of, Mikey, but not really a threat to RVD at this point. So I did 2 3/4 as well, Maddie.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. 2 3/4. Good showcase for RVD, as is the standard for these TV title defenses. Mikey got some shine. He hit like that one sick pedigree on the chair, which was great looking.
Mm-hmm.
The finish was really good in this, with RVD jumping over Fonzie for the frog splash. But I mean, outside of that, it was like your fairly standard RVD title defense. So 2 3/4 for me.
Mike Awesome's in the parking lot. He's standing by an ambulance. He's screaming at Spike and RVD, saying they're loading Jeff Jones in the ambulance as I speak. And you better pray that he's okay, because if he isn't, I'll break both your backs and end your careers.
Oh,
Usual insane, awesome promo. Yep. We then get RVD and Fonzie celebrating, talking shit to the camera. But because this is ECW, anytime we get any sort of positive momentum towards something great, we get a little bit of grain of salt thrown into the mix. And as we're wrapping up the episode, we get a breaking news alert from Paul Heyman with a graphic that says RVD suffers broken leg. Heyman says that hours after this episode was taped, Van Dam broke his leg in a match in Orlando. Information is available on the website, and we'll have details and discussion next week on TNN. Just a brutal piece of news with how hot this RVD awesome feud has been. And we finally get the RVD world title push, finally pulling the trigger on this, and he breaks his leg. Just, we'll see in the future that RVD has this type of luck when things are starting to break for him. But this is no pun intended, but this was definitely a rough one. Definitely a rough one for ECW. Now we'll see what it means and how long where it's going to be. But as of leaving the show, Van Dam's leg has been broken.
Yeah,
I thought it was a word.
Yeah,
but I was like, we're gonna go record this pod, and they'll be like, he went to WCW, and they said he broke his leg.
No, he is not leaving ECW. I promise you that.
No.
And it is not a work.
So that's terrible. I mean, I figured it out later that it was not a word, but this really, really, really sucks. I'm like, what the fuck do we do now?
I mean, they had to have already obviously planned for Living Dangerous.
I would think so.
And you got to assume he was winning the world title. I mean, you have to.
Right, 100%.
He's not going to lose that match. So
right.
After all this time and all this build and all
of it,
he's finally about to win the world title.
Yep.
And he breaks his leg.
What the fuck? Do we ever see the match where he breaks his leg?
I think we see stills, and that's it.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Who was he fighting?
It's going to become part of a storyline, but it's Rhino.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge bummer for a roster that really can't afford to lose anybody right now.
Sabu. I mean, it's fitting, I guess, timing wise.
Right.
Sabu leaves and already breaks his fucking leg, but
I mean, it's a roster that can't afford to lose anybody right now. Never mind your top guy. Like, Jesus fucking Christ! Like, just brutal. Like it's like 1 step forward, 3 steps back with this
Mhm.
fucking company lately. It's brutal.
All right, let's do our awards. We'll get to our next episode. Best match, I went with RVD Mikey.
Yeah.
And worst, even though it was good, was the tag with Dusty.
Mhm.
For best moment, I give it to Dusty's in-ring return.
Yep.
I like the Raven.
Yeah, that was
Paul
good too.
thing.
Most 2000s, Rock and Bowl, and then shitting on the title changes from the big companies that were having millions of title changes.
And Elian Gonzalez.
Yeah,
Everything that's
that
all,
too.
yes.
Yep.
Stock Rising, Van Dam in the match. I had written him down, so we'll give him the credit for the match. Dusty, Raven, Dawn, and Elektra.
Mhm.
Yep.
Falling TNN, the Danaconda,
Jeff Jones.
Jeff Jones,
RVD's tibia.
RVD's leg.
Oh no! Too soon, Maddie. Too soon.
It was 25 years ago.
No, we just talked about it.
Final grade, I went 6.5 out of 10. Now, it was a fine episode, but TNN's been such a rock star show lately.
Yeah.
This definitely felt like a bit of a weaker, and then just the fart bomb at the end. Which, I mean, good on them to work it in, because hardcore TV, I don't know if we'll hear about it, but it's likely canned mostly for most networks, and so it's a decent cliffhanger for the TNN audience anyway to come back and find out about RVD's leg the next week.
I'm gonna do 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I gave it the old Dusty bump, so I went 7 on it.
It's okay, baby. Let's go to the next night, February 5th, 2000. Hardcore TV. We have clips of the end of the Awesome and Spike match with Mike Awesome calling out RVD, which led to the big brawl 2 weeks ago that has now changed dramatically since that, just 2 weeks prior.
Yeah, really.
Which is nuts. Joey's in the nest in New Orleans, talks about the red hot war between Awesome and Van Dam, but we get that breaking news alert from TNN last night. We get our opening animation. Joey sends us to the ring for our opening match, which is Angel taking on New Jack. It's a New Orleans street fight, as Angel will once again try to defeat New Jack to remain king of the streets. Grimes is here with Angel. He's got the staple gun hanging from his neck. Natural Born Killers fires up. Out comes New Jack with his cart of weapons. He gets on the apron, but Grimes attacks with a pipe and beats on his knee. Angel heads out. Him and Grimes lay the wood. Back inside, both Baldies batter New Jack, and after a break, New Jack finally has some help as Balls Mahoney is here and cleans house. Joey says Balls is back from Japan as he pulls out a fork and jams it into Grimes' head. We get the breaking news alert from Paul, and he says early reports from doctors have said that Rob Van Dam will be out anywhere from 1 to 4 months. More to come on Friday. We cut back to the ring. A bloody Grimes is slicing up Balls as New Jack drags Angel through the crowd and up toward the back of the bleachers. Jack smashes Angel with a chair, shoots him sliding down the railing into the bleacher floors. Both guys are bleeding as New Jack shoves Angel back to ringside and into the ring. Balls and Grimes fight through the crowd now as Jack hammers Angel, claws at his face, and fucks his mouth up. Jack puts a large pan on Angel's nuts and smashes it with a chain. Angel regroups, kicks New Jack to the floor, and swings away wildly. New Jack fires back as Balls and Grimes are in the ring. Balls bounces Grimes around with punches. Grimes is an avalanche and follows it, slamming his ass on Balls in the corner. Angel shoots New Jack into the railing and then slams a bear on him. New Jack shoves him off back into the ring as Grimes has Balls on a table at ringside and mashes him through it with a somersault plancha. Angel kicks New Jack low, hammers away, shoves New Jack in a chair, holds him up as Grimes goes up top. Grimes comes off with a somersault. New Jack moves and Grimes crashes through the open chair. Angel goes up top of the chair now as Grimes holds New Jack, and Angel bashes New Jack with the chair for the win. Balls comes back and hits both Baldies with chair shots. So a good little bloody brawl. New Jack finally gets some help, but still can't get the freaking win on Angel. We'll see. Is this it for the Baldies? Are they going to move on? Is there going to be more? We'll see if the violence continues. New Jack keeps stalking this win. Balls is back. It's a good spot for him to bounce back into. We'll see if New Jack needs to get even more help or if him and Balls can empty the chamber on the Baldies and end their run. 2.5 for me, Matt.
It's the Baldies versus the Ballsdies. How about that? I went 2 on this. It was your standard weapons fare. Can we have New Jack win one of these? Like Angel's
Yes, please.
Angel's terrible. Stop having him win things. Like at least if Grimes was in there and he was losing to Grimes, that would make sense because Grimes is a lot better than fucking Angel is. But I think this was kind of sloppy at points too. I don't know if it was just the way the camera was during that, but that like sloppy flip senton avalanche thing that Grimes hit off the top rope, it looked like he missed the chair from the camera. So I don't know if he hit it or not. Who could possibly say? But yeah, we've seen better brawls out of these two guys for sure. And but I am glad that New Jack finally has some fucking help in this feud. But Jesus, stop having Angel beat him. 2 stars.
This is good. I mean, if this doesn't end by living dangerously, like at that show, like I mean, it's enough with this fucking feud. It's been good, but it's like it's the same thing over and over.
We get it at this point.
Yeah. Just running back this same sort of match over and over again. It's not bad. It's always fun. And finally, Balls is back. We love him. Excited for New Jack. We love Balls. Maybe we do need somebody else to help them, and maybe we'll get some help and get a win for New Jack. Did you like the spot where they got on the railing and then Angel got on the railing and like slid down it off the?
Yeah, that was cool.
Area?
As long as it's not zip lining, I'm happy.
What if he was zip lining on the railing? That'd be something.
I did 2 1/4 stars.
All right, we stay in the ring for our next match as Kid Cash, Nova and Kid Cash take on Danny Doring and Roadkill and the Dups in a triple threat match, triangle match, whatever. The Dups head to the ring as Joey, The Dups head to the ring as Joey hooks up our next pay-per-view, which is Living Dangerously on March 12th in the home of James Gruenberg, Danbury, Connecticut, at least close by. And also the first ever ECW video game, which was launching on February 17th. Joey hypes up Mike Awesome and RVD, teases it could have happened on the pay-per-view, but sadly, we know the truth now, obviously, even though his commentary is clearly canned. Cash and Nova hit the ring, followed by the Conda, Roadkill, and Elektra. Joey knows that Cash's jaw is still fucked up from bowed up, shattering it. After a break, we get going as all 6 men brawl around the ring on the floor. Cash and Nova end up alone. Cash meets Roadkill and Dup with a big springboard puncha. Nova brings Jack in the ring and hammers away, but Bo is in. They hit a double choke slam. Roadkill's on the top rope, nails both Dups with a clothesline. Doring throws Bo outside, and him and Roadkill hit the heart attack for 2. Bo's back, works over Nova, but misses a splash in the corner. It's a tornado DDT, misses a top rope splash. Doring misses a top rope elbow. Cash misses a top rope knee drop. Roadkill misses a top rope leg drop. Jack misses a top rope elbow. Pretty crazy sequence there. Doring and Nova wishbone Jack, and Cash comes off the top with a knee just to the guts to eliminate the Dups. Paul cuts in here again with another update on RVD's injury. We now know for sure he broke his leg in 2 different places. We'll have more on the website and on TNN. We come back. Doring and Cash are brawling outside. Elektra's in the ring working over Nova. Chetty's here. He draws with Elektra, slams her and drags her out of the ring, carries her to the back with her ass hanging out. Doring hits a bareback on Cash's busted jaw, and Roadkill hits his top rope splash for the win. And a pretty cool looking spot. Cash is pouring blood from his mouth as the officials come in to help. This was fine, but again, rinse, repeat. Chetty comes out, carries off Elektra. Like, this group has exceeded expectations, but like the Baldies and New Jack, which also exceeded expectations, it's getting a little long in the tooth. Like, repetitive. We got to do something with Doring and Roadkill. Are we going to have them challenge for the belts? Like, why the fuck not? Let's do it. Like, I think they've proven they're the kings of this mid-card tag group. The Dups are fine, whatever. And, Nova and Cash are fun. Chetty, who knows if I'll ever be back, but whatever. So Jenny went 2 1/4. Again, it's fine. I'm just ready for something different.
Totally agree. It's fun and chaotic, and I love seeing Cash. Like, he jumped off the fucking top rope, just the elevation was insane. And then bleeding from the mouth, that just looks fucking badass. So, poor guy though. I mean, it was really painful. The RVD updates are getting to be a lot. You don't have to interrupt the match. Okay, you can just do it like in between the matches. I like the information and all, but that's just very
I think
annoying.
they're trying to make it too like it's breaking. Like,
right.
Well, it's almost like it's happening
Yeah.
during the show that he's getting diagnosed.
Yeah.
We now know it's 2 weeks. Like, I think they're trying to make it like
Yeah.
it's all happening in the moment, you know?
Yeah, but I don't like it. I think that these would be fine contenders for the stupid players at a pay-per-view, and it seems like they're set up for it. So, I mean, that should be a fun match, and the cat fight will be good. I did 2.5 now.
Yeah, I mean, it's similar thoughts. All these matches are fine between these teams, but it's the same thing over and over again. They changed it up a little bit, like with all 6 people missing their fucking top rope spots. That was really good. And Cash diving into Roadkill and Who Gives a Dup was also very good.
Honda going through the-
But like outside of that, I mean, it's kind of the same match over and over again. It's fine, it's fun, but we've seen it. So standard fare from this crew, 2.5 for me.
Joey in the Nest basically says Rob Van Dam's going to fight Mike Austin with the pay-per-view. like all of us says it. It was obviously, again, pre-recorded. But we do the breaking news alert. So a lot of patchwork on this episode. And Jenny, I think they're doing it the way they're doing it because so much of the episode was built around these 2 fucking guys fighting.
Yeah.
So they had to keep patching over it with the news. It was way too late, I'm sure, to do like a major edit on this. So, but our main event, and I'm guessing it'll be our last RVD match for a while, is Rob Van Dam taking on Masato Tanaka. Tanaka's in the ring. RVD and Fonzie arrive. We go to break. We come back. We get a series of reversals, a clean break. Joey says these 2 men have never faced before. We get more chain work into an RVD roll up for 2, a reset. Tanaka comes back with a sit out powerbomb. RVD goes to the floor to regroup with Fonzie and have some water. RVD heads back in. Tanaka cranks a headlock. RVD rallies with a Rana to block a powerbomb. RVD celebrates too much. Tanaka plants him with a hard shoulder block and a power bomb, but he eats a boot on the charge. Dumps RVD to the apron and throws him to the floor with a forearm. Tanaka follows out, shoots RVD hard to the railing into the crowd before dragging him back inside where he hits a hard clothesline in the corner. Puts RVD up top and takes him off with a DDT for 2. Sets up a table, puts RVD up top again and puts him through the table with a DDT for a near fall. Tanaka goes up top again, but comes up empty on an elbow drop. RVD is up, unloading strikes, hits a sidekick off the top rope, gets 2 counts and a cartwheel backflip and a rolling thunder with a chair. RVD then drop kicks the chair into Tanaka's face for 2, but Tanaka comes back and throws the chair at RVD's face and DDTs him on it for 2. Tanaka gets 2 on a roaring elbow, but RVD counters a tornado DDT into a Northern Lights on a chair for 2. Van Dam hits a spin kick. Tanaka ducks a Van Daminator and smashes RVD with a chair for 2. RVD floats out of a powerbomb, but Tanaka twists into a cutter for a 2 count. Goes up top. RVD blocks him and follows up. Tanaka slugs him down and hits a diamond dust, but Fonzie puts his RVD's foot on the rope to break up the count, and RVD kicks out at 2. Tanaka misses a running chair shot. RVD cracks him with a Van Daminator and finishes with a 5-star frog splash for the win in a really great match. I love this. I thought both looked really good. Tanaka dominated. Very different flow for an RVD match where like Fonzie had to save him. So that was cool. And if this is it for his title reign, like I don't know where it goes. I don't know if he forfeits, if he sits on it till he comes back. I don't know where they're going with it. But if this is it, like at least he goes out with a great match. Like, it's really, really good. RVD's offense is good as ever at the end. Tanaka is such a good addition to this roster, especially when he's not just fighting awesome all the time. Hot match to carry a middling episode that has a lot of historical ramifications. Again, if this is it for RVD for a while, this is his last match of this epic 2-year title reign. Is a strong one to go out on, Maddie. So 3 3/4 to me on the match.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I went 3.5 on it. It's a hell of a match. Kind of wild that they never faced each other before. Like you think with all the time that Tanaka's been around and with RVD's been TV champ, you think they would have had a random match somewhere. But so that's kind of wild. And to your point, it's a hell of a match to go out on if this is it for RVD for a while. Just awesome stuff, back and forth. Tanaka got a ton of shine in this, which was great. RVD looked fucking amazing in this match, which it makes it all the more shitty that he's gone for a while. So that really fucking sucks. But the finish was great too. The chair shots to RVD that Tanaka was laying into him were brutal. The diamond dust was great. Just it's a hell of a match, and it kind of left me feeling bummed out that we're not seeing RVD for a while with this, because it leaves you with this match leaves you with such a great taste in your mouth, and it's just like, yeah, no, we're not going to see him for a while probably. So that sucks, but it's a hell of a match. So 3.5 for me, and it's on Hardcore TV, which hasn't had a match like this in like a fucking year.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that was good to see too. This is what fucking Hardcore TV was made on, shit like this. So that was good. So 3.5.
Preach, Maddie. Preach, Maddie. You're an evil priest, probably. So anyway.
I am. That's news to me. Shit.
Well, yes, this is as good as you would think versus RVD would be. Like, it's a banger. Terrible for RVD. But he's the only one that matches RVD for confidence for me on the roster. Like, he's just
well, and to Jerry.
Yeah, well, to Jerry too, but just that next level. This is like elite shit. Like, these guys are amazing together. They both rock this match. I did 3.5 as well.
All right, let's do our awards. Best match, clearly RVD Tanaka.
Yep.
Yeah.
So making worst match the triple threat tag. Well, for me actually, I had that. I think I had Jack and Angel a little above it.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I had the reverse. I had Jack and Angel was the worst.
I think I had them both as 2.5, but I think I like Jack and Angel a little bit more because at least had a story. Best moment, I went Van Dam's win because if that's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Most 2000, the on-air breaking news alerts to get the word out, whereas normally this would be like over social media,
Fucking CNN over here.
Right.
Rising, the Baldies, Doring and Roadkill, Van Dam, Tanaka.
Yeah.
Stock falling, the Dups, Kid Cash's broken jaw. It's like a Steve who had the Ozzy Smith, who had the grotesquely swollen jaw. In Simpsons.
Oh yeah.
Kid Cash's grotesquely swollen jaw. Final grade, I went 6.5 out of 10 again. That match was great, so it made this worth watching, and the tag was good, and the brawl was good too. It was all fine.
Yeah, it's another 7 for me.
Yeah, same. I went 7 on it.
Yeah, as much as we want to see hardcore TV still built up, I don't hate the division breakup that we have, where it's like both things are talked about and showcased a bit, but the guys who wrestle are kind of bifurcated nicely. Like, kind of got the tag guys and the bloody brawls on hardcore, and then kind of the top guys in the wrestling storyline development on TNN. So, all right, TNN, February 11, 2000. Paul sets up the night, says we'll have information about Van Dam's first public appearance since breaking his leg. We get the opening animation. Joey and Joel are in the ring. We're in Tallahassee. The crowd's riled up. We're doing the tomahawk chop. Joey hypes up the undisputed college football champion Florida State Seminoles. Come a long way from then.
No.
As Kevin Kelly would tell you.
Wow.
Joel goes into his shtick, but before he can hit the punchline, Cyrus cuts him off, heads to the ring with the Dups. We get asshole chants. Cyrus says the network is not happy, but we have more important business than Gertner getting himself over. Cyrus says Rob Van Dam, our television champion, has broken his leg, and no one feels worse than he does. But at the network, we're not concerned about everybody's leg. We're concerned with ad revenue, live gate attendance, and ratings. Never mind that the Rock and Bull athletes would never miss a booking. The issue now is that the TV title, by definition, must be defended on TNN. And most importantly, this show is a lead-in for Roller Jam. Cyrus says the TV title will be defended tonight because TNN said so, because Roller Jam must go on. So Spike Dudley will be the one to step to the plate and grab that brass ring, and he will defend the TV title on behalf of Rob Van Dam tonight against the Dups. And Cyrus says he'll do whatever he wants because he's network and he is TNN. So, Jenny, I'm curious your thoughts, on the segment. And I want to posit this question to you. Would you prefer they keep the belt on Van Dam and have a natural end to his title reign? Or is there a mythical piece to this that says his title reign was always destined to end without being beaten and elevating up? Now, because we've talked about him like beating Mike Awesome and giving up the TV title. So could this be their way of getting it off him without putting someone over? Or is there an opportunity cost lost by not giving someone that rub to beat RVD to win that belt finally?
Right.
It means more. It's kind of the Undertaker streak argument, right? Should it go on in perpetuity because it's awesome to have this legacy? Or did it mean more to have him lose to someone and transition that heat to Brock Lesnar to rebuild him?
I like the segment. I think that Cyrus just blowing off their star's broken leg. They're not concerned with the broken leg. It's very good. And the Rock and Bowl continuing joke is very good. Like I said before, him just holding the papers is funny to me. And he was
And
like,
the headset
yeah,
that goes nowhere.
yeah. And he's like, Spike can fight the Ducks or whatever. I don't know, whatever. And then it's like, he doesn't care. So this is kind of perfect with his character, and I thought they're not eating up a lot of time with it too. So
No, it's quick every week.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
really, they're hitting their shit and they're getting out. So as far as RVD, yeah, I feel like he needs to beat somebody.
Or
Yeah,
somebody needs to beat him, you mean?
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, somebody needs to beat him. Like I feel like we've been waiting for that for so long that the edging's not fun anymore. But now we're gonna have to wait even longer.
Mhm.
So if I do want that, then I don't know.
What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I think one of the main reasons you have a long title reign like that, besides RVD being super fucking popular, is to give a bump to the guy that eventually beats him. So I think
I'm not confident anyone was going to beat him. Like,
well,
if he was going to Living Dangerously
the other thing
to
too.
win that world title, I think they were going to have either hold both belts or
Yeah.
give up, or the network makes him give up the TV title to be defended because he's the world champion. Like, I think that's where this was going. I don't think he was going to lose.
Or if you do something like the network has, kind of like what we were talking about before,
Right.
the network has a crew and they have like Carino beat him via shitty ways or something
Right.
like that to get the title off of him. You know, I just feel like, again, besides RVD being that popular, you have a reign that long for the guy who can eventually end that reign, and it gives him a massive boost. So I think I don't mind the other method, but I just think for me, this is the way that I think you should do it. The opening segment was good. It's weird that it's the fucking Dups of all people getting a TV title shot out of nowhere, and I guess it's a handicap match for the TV title. Okay, sure, that's what.
Well, you could have figured they were throwing the slapping the shit together.
Yeah, of course
Yeah.
they
They're
were.
probably
but
reeling. I don't know when this was taped. It was taped like right after. I don't know if they're alive anymore
Yeah.
for these. I have no idea. But
I would imagine it was taped like a couple of days later, so they were just fucking scrambling to figure something out. But it's definitely weird having Spike defend the TV title on RVD's behalf against the Dups, that's like something out of fucking Mad Libs. But it's definitely weird. But I don't hate it for what given that they had to basically scramble to put this together. I
Right.
don't necessarily hate it.
And then you could just have Cyrus do this for a little bit. Just make matches like
Yeah.
because he don't care or whatever, and it
Right.
furthers his network thing. And then kind of covers the title. for
and
a
they could be
little bit.
waiting to see the diagnosis too. They may be thinking,
Right.
all right, let's fuck around for a week or two, see what this if this diagnosis is like a month or 6 weeks, we can get through that easy. I mean, that's nothing.
Yeah,
If
I
it's
mean,
going to be 4 months,
if
then
this
we
was
get
taped like 2 days later, they'd have no fucking
Right.
idea how long.
so
he's
if they got 4 months, then they might have to pivot off of this, right? So I think they're just trying to buy time.
I would
to get a
agree.
diagnosis.
Yeah.
Yep.
Method of modern love. All right, Spike Dudley is taking on the Dups with the TV title line. Highway to Hell hits. Out he comes. Odd direction, like you said, Matt. The Dups attack before the bell. Spike hits both of the acid drop and retains as it. I want a quarter of a star. I mean,
Gee whiz, that was worth it.
Yeah,
it's stupid. Yeah.
I don't know, bro. Like I did a dud on that, and that's usually my shit. But I don't know. I was just like, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I went dud on it for wasting our time, basically. The segment itself was fine, but like we didn't need a match.
No, we didn't.
All right, Raven sits down Mikey Whipwreck and says he needs to talk. Mikey is good friends with Tommy Dreamer, or you at least go way back. Raven wants Mikey to talk to Tommy tonight. Mikey says, I'm fighting Tommy tonight. Raven says, even better. We need to make it painfully clear that the Francine thing is nothing to ruin a friendship over. After all their history, this is an intervention. Mikey needs to get Tommy to understand by talking or beating it into his head. Tommy's best friend is Raven. Francine's not an issue. And Raven says, I feel your pain to Mikey and walks off. Mikey stares blankly and says, Raven's a weird dude. Someone must have spiked his chocolate milk this morning. In comes James Vandenberg chuckling and says, I told you before, Mikey, Raven makes the perfect disciple. And Vandenberg cackles, and then Mikey stares at him, and he starts cackling. Just quite the scene of madness with these guys here.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of like Raven being a target for this potential group or something. Like,
Yeah.
could be just something different for him. Vandenberg now wants to control him, and Mikey seems like a natural fit maybe as well for this.
Yeah.
As a guy who's going off the deep end, like we talked about. Does he need some kind of leader, right? Cult leader of some sort to help him?
That would be good. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
good with that. I'm good. I thought this was really funny. Like,
Yeah.
I thought Mikey was very good.
Mhm.
It was very RSV, and Raven was just very dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
And James Mitchell, perfect as always.
Raven and Tommy are best friends, you guys. Did you know that?
At least in Raven's world there.
Yeah, Raven may be he may be more far gone than we thought, but James Vandenberg, Mitchell, whatever you want to call him this week, is like the icing on the cake for this. You'd be the perfect disciple. Look at you. If you're frayed jeans and your depression, join me. I'm good for it.
All right. To the ring we go, where Mikey in his frayed jeans and depression is taking on Tommy Dreamer. Francine leads Tommy to the ring as Joel pushes his theory that Fran and Raven are an item behind Tommy's back. We cut to outside where New Jack and Balls issue a warning to DeBaldi's. Back in the ring, Mikey's arrived. We get a lockup off the bell to some quick chain work. Joey says DeBaldi's will take on New Jack and Balls next week. It'll be a bloody mess. Mikey takes down Tommy. Tommy avoids a Boston Crab. We reset. Vandenberg comes to ringside. Tommy goes to confront him. Mikey kicks the rope into his nuts, and it's a slingshot leg drop as Joey says Vandenberg is taking advantage of Mikey's vulnerable mind. Vandenberg yells to Mikey that he's not a baby, he's a man. As Mikey shoots Tommy hard into the railing, Mikey grabs the mic, says, I'm 39 and live with my mom. I'm not a baby. Joey says, Mikey's delusional. He is not 39. But Joel says, well, wrestling and other companies can aid you. Tommy backdrops Mikey into the crowd and then grabs a mic and says, Mikey's not a baby. He's a beeping beep. I don't even want to know what Tommy said. I'm sure it's not kosher. Tommy drags Mikey through the fans, up the steps to the back of the building, smashes him with a drink. Tommy hugs a female fan, and Joel says he knows who she is. And Joey says, I have a feeling a few of you guys know who that girl is. So I'm guessing a Tallahassee rap.
Putting this girl on blast. Jesus Christ.
That was
for all of national TV to see. Tommy
he
walks Mikey.
Yeah.
Tommy walks Mikey to some bleachers. Mikey stops him, shoots him into it, and then chokes away. Mikey and Tommy scale the bleachers, slug away till Mikey smacks him with a beer. Mikey flops to the floor. Tommy flips Mikey back to ringside, nails him with a water bottle before shoving him in the ring. Joey says Raven is delusional as Mikey these days. Tommy grabs a chair, but whiffs on a swing, and Mikey's able to drive him into it with a side Russian leg sweep. Mikey spikes Tommy into the chair, stomps away. Tommy comes back with a swinging neck breaker. Mikey crotches Tommy up top. Tommy counters a whippersnapper, shoves him to the mat. Mikey dodges an elbow, misses a second row moonsault. Tommy catches Mikey on a float over, hits a Spicoli driver, but Vandenberg yanks him out of the ring to break up the pin. Francine shoves Vandenberg back in the ring and stalks him as he begs off. Francine kicks him in the nuts, follows with a Bronco Buster, but Mikey grabs her. Tommy saves, but Mikey mule kicks Tommy and hits a super kick for 2. Raven comes in, he hops in the ring, walks behind Tommy, but Tommy ducks as Mikey throws powder and it blinds Raven. Francine tries to help, but Raven can't see and DDTs Francine. Tommy grabs Raven and hammers away, but Mikey rolls up Tommy for 2. Tommy quickly hits a Spicoli driver on Mikey, but doesn't cover because he fights on Raven again. And Mikey tries a whippersnapper again, and Tommy hits a DDT this time and covers for the win. So fun match. Mikey seems reinvigorated with this direction. Vandenberg playing some mind games is a good touch. Raven has been trying all this time to do the right thing, but it backfires here as he hurts Francine, and it's apparently going to trigger some new direction in this war with Dreamer, who's going to defend Francine. We'll see where Francine lies. Will it be a, Sean, Sherry, Marty situation, or where's she going to end up? So 2 3/4 here, Jenny, on the match, with an interesting twist to the story.
If you could just eliminate the I'm not a baby stuff for Mikey, I can get fully on board with this. Like, he's having losses in these matches, but they're good matches. And if he's losing to him, maybe that makes him turn to, I'm going to call him James Mitchell because that's his name to me. And we can have a story there. Also, I like when Francine attacks men. I really enjoy that in every match. I like the powder. I like the whole fuckery with Raven. That's just classic Dreamer Raven stuff. So
Yep.
I've always popped for some bullshit at the end of a match. And Tommy was moving around pretty good. Like he seems like in better shape as of late. So
Yeah, it seems like his back maybe is not as bad. I feel like they're not even
Yeah.
mentioning it as much anymore.
No.
They still kind
Right.
of drop it in, but they don't really focus on it anymore. The broken vertebrae or whatever the fuck is going
Yeah.
on. He's
makes
strong enough
me
to zip line along all the
Yeah.
ring ropes.
Well,
Yeah.
you know,
No, not a tag
Um,
tonight, so there's no zip lining. but-
I like that bleacher spot too. That was cool. And then
Hmm.
him hugging that girl took me the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like, sir, you're in the middle of a fucking match. Like, what are you doing?
He probably slipped the room key right there on the spot.
Yeah, it did look like he was. Oh my god. Anyway, I did 2 3/4, Matt.
Yeah, I went 2 3/4 on this too. It is a fun match, but man, this would have been a great spot for Mikey to win. And
Yeah.
I'm guessing the loss is going to be part of the storyline, kind of what
Right.
you were saying, Jenny. But given all the fuckery that happened at the
Oh
end
yeah, it
of
would have been
this,
easier when we get a cover
like-
and Vandenberg be like, "See, you know."
yeah,
Mhm.
like it would have been a perfect spot for this. But that's me. I'm summoning that music. But it's that was my only real knock. It is a very fun match, and to Jenny's point, it was your classic Dreamer versus Raven type of fuckery, which is always fun to watch. That bleacher spot was great too, and no zipline from Dreamer, to your point, which is probably why he's in better shape because he's saving his back every time he does that. He doesn't have to bump. So it's probably helping his back. If anything, that's some new back therapy they have there. 2 3/4 for me.
We need a mashup of this and the ECW with the all lyrics.
Oh yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be good.
Somebody make that for us.
All right, backstage, Tommy's looking for Francine, and Wild Bill Wiles jokes that she must be off banging Raven. Tommy kicks the shit out of him. Louis, CW, and some of the wrestlers come in to slow him down. Spike says Francine's in the hospital. Tommy cools off and starts to walk off, but Mitch is there, Big Dick Mitch. He says Raven's been blinded by power and couldn't see her. Tommy throws him into the garage door and hammers away and say, "You only speak when spoken to." Mitch. All right.
It was fantastic.
The match clearly just happened. How's Francine already at the fucking
I
hospital?
know, yeah.
Like that was a little silly to me. Like maybe it could have
Taking the Acela train there or something.
Yeah, it's odd. Like they could have just said this was later in the night or something, but they play it like it just came right out of the ring.
Yeah.
So they should have said they don't know where she is.
They rented a helicopter and they flew her to the hospital.
It was
in
weird.
record
It was
time.
like, how is she already there?
It says it's 3 blocks from here. She's 3 blocks from here. So I guess the hospital's nearby.
But that's still fast. Like she didn't get
No,
wheeled
like-
out of the ring that quickly. Like, what do they just carry her on the shoulder? I guess there. I don't know. It's just kind of weird.
When-
It's just weird that it was that fast.
Dreamer stormed in there and he's like, "Where's Francine?" Dude, I don't know, probably banging Raven. I've lost my shit.
Fucking Bill Wiles.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, Wild Bill.
And then Mitch
Beautiful
just
Bill.
coming in at the end looking like a fucking dope, and Dreamer just throws him into the door.
Big Dick Mitch.
I thought this was fantastic.
Mitchapalooza.
This was amazing.
Mitch ate shit in the door.
And at time is Raven is taking on Just Incredible. This is his first ever match with Raven. We get clips from Guilty as Charged, where Raven took the cane for Francine, even though it cost him the tag team titles. Raven stalks down. Joey plugs a candid real audio interview with Steve Corino and Rob Van Dam News on the website. So real audio creeping in. Raven knocks Credible to the floor, throws him on a table, puts him through with a dive off the apron. Raven throws Credible hard into the table remnants and chokes him with the table leg. Raven spikes Credible into the railing. We head back inside where Raven continues to choke and hammer away. Raven throws Credible to the apron, sets up a table in the corner. Credible reverses and throws Raven through it. Credible stomps and slugs away, knocking Raven to the floor. Into the railing, Credible nails a super kick, hammers away as Raven's bleeding. Back inside, Credible hooks a chin lock. Raven shoves free, buries the knee to the gut. Back outside, Credible punches at the cut, shoves Raven back in the ring, falls to the table. Credible hammers away more, puts the table in the corner. Credible puts Raven face first through it, but Raven dodges the charge, and Credible smashes through the table. Credible hooks a sleeper, but Raven breaks with a jawbreaker, goes to a sleeper of his own. Credible quickly breaks that with a back suplex for 2. Credible lays in some punches in the corner. Raven goes low to stop him, stomps away in the corner, hits a hard clothesline, a knee lift. Raven shoves a snot rag in Credible's face. Lance Storm shows up, smacks Raven with a pan for a near fall. Raven loads up a DDT, but Storm blocks with a springboard clothesline. Jason's in. Him and Storm beat down Raven. Storm gets a chair. Credible drives him into it with a drop toe hold, and then Storm DDTs him on the open chair. Credible loads up Raven. We get double team stuff that's incredible to the chair, and they pose and talk shit until Danny Doring and Roadkill come out and attack into the break. So we don't really get a finish on this, which is oddly rare for ECW with all the bullshit.
Yeah, I wondered about that.
Pretty good slugfest, a lot of hard strikes and some table bumps mixed in. Good heat as well with the story and atmosphere. Credible's good at selling, so that opening bit with the Raven kicking the shit out of him was fun. The Impact players end up destroying Raven with a good beatdown. Dreamer's nowhere to be seen for the save. So Jenny went 3 stars on this. Actually, I thought it was pretty good.
3 stars. I'm a little bit lower, like 2.5, but it was pretty fun. I think I just don't like Justin Credible stuff. But I thought he was good in this. Raven bleeding like crazy is amazing. Yeah, I was like, I think Justin Credible won, but I don't know if there was a match. Seems like he won because they beat the shit out of Raven. Yeah, what do you think, Maddie?
Yeah, I only went 2.25 on this. This didn't work for me like at all. I thought Raven at points
You don't
was
work for me.
well, we know that already. I feel like at point like
That's
It took-
shit.
it took Raven like 36 hours to set up that table in the corner. That drove
No
me
one puts
Oh,
table in
I-
the corner.
I love that. I
yeah.
love that.
And then they start with this hot brawl, and then Credible locks in a headlock. I wanted to throw my phone through the fucking TV. So that bugged the hell out of me. Like, I just thought it was kind of mid. And like, both guys are obviously good and they're capable of more. And I hated that there wasn't a finish either. That was real fucking weird for like, of all matches, this is the one where you decide not to have a finish. That was weird too. So no contest, I guess. So I don't know. This really just did not work for me at all. So 2.25.
It's a stupid grade, you prick. After break, James Vandenberg's down, checks on Raven. Paulie's out and pulls him away. He really hates Vandenberg. They argue until Paul shoves him away. Dusty Rhodes comes in. He tries to check on Raven. We get a replay of the stuff pile driver. Cyrus is in, has a mic. He tells Dusty that he's the network in office and understands he needs to be told that the moron Paul to get this wrestler out of the ring so the show can go on because it's about the network, not the wrestler. Dusty says it's about the boys, not the goddamn network. Cyrus says, with all due respect, Dusty shouldn't be kayfabing about the boys because he knows as well as Cyrus does that it's about the network and he's in on the gimmick. He's office. The noise he hears is money flowing out, ratings dropping and channels changing for this ratings disaster. Roller Jam's coming up. Paul gets Raven out of the ring as Dusty takes the mic from Cyrus. Dusty says he doesn't have to stand out here and listen to Cyrus talk about the network and ratings because it is about the boys putting their ass on the line every night. So guys like Cyrus even have a job. Dusty says the network can call him if they have an issue with him taking his TV time. And he came to ECW for one reason, to visit Paul. But he got drawn into a situation and got his ass kicked by the Young Turks of ECW because it's all about the boys. And the boys in the ECW locker room aren't nobodies. They're somebodies that pay Cyrus's bills. Cyrus talks into a stupid headset as the crowd is chanting for Dusty. Dusty says, when you think about all the young lions chasing Mike Awesome's title, he ain't here for that. He's here because for 30 years, people gave a shit about what he did and when he talked, where he was going, when he was hurt, when he bled, and when he kicked someone's ass, just like Cyrus. He doesn't want to hear about the network. So for all the fans that gave back to him in the ECW arena in Philly, they have hated him for a lifetime. But when he went there, they showed him respect. He showed them respect and they gave it back to Dusty. The network and Cyrus don't give respect, though. In comes Steve Corino. He starts to talk, but Dusty says, I don't want to hear it. Corino asks Dusty if he's scared, then he'll tell the truth about the real Dusty. Dusty calls him Little Stevie and says, you already put him to rest. You can head to the back. Dusty turns around and Corino smacks his hat. So Dusty puts the hat down and smirks and says, someone should punch Corino in the nose. I'm not gonna. And then he does it anyway. Dusty lays out Cyrus with a bionic elbow. He takes out Jack Victory, hammers on Corino. Rhino comes in and stomps away. And Joel says, Dusty has 30 years of experience and still didn't realize he was being set up. Carino hooks the figure 4. Rhino and Jack Victory stomp the leg as Joey begs for help. Enter Sandman, fires up, shows up in the aisle, and we fade out. With a very hot closing segment that I thought was very well done. And it looks like we are not done with Dusty. And we're likely heading to some either him and Rhino or him and Carino, I'm guessing, at the pay-per-view. And we'll see if that culminates this run or not. But he was great in this. Cyrus was good as always. Rhino looked good. So I think the whole thing was well executed. What do you think, Matt?
This is how. Oh, sorry.
No, go. Go.
This is how you use Dusty Rhodes, right? This is what you do. You let him talk, stir up shit, stand up for the boys in the back. You know, perfect job here by everybody on board. And I think Sandman's music hitting was fantastic. I loved all of this at the end.
Yeah, but if I'm someone, I don't want Sandman saving me. He's good with the cane, but it takes forever to come down the.
Yeah, really.
Well, I'm good with it. That's
Yeah, this was awesome. I can listen to Dusty read from the fucking dictionary, and he can make it entertaining. And I just love the visual of him checking on Raven while Raven's just sprawled out on the mat. Scotty Flamingo, is that you, baby? What are you doing down there?
I was on break.
I thought I fired you. It was just the lines from him too. The boys in the back pay your bills, Cyrus. Yes, God, he's the fucking best. So yeah, I'm glad we're getting more of him because with as good as he has been, he shouldn't be fucking going anywhere.
And with RVD down, like we need a draw for this
pay-per-view. 100%. You needed a guy like Dusty. Enter Dusty Rhodes in 2000 to save ECW. Here we go.
I'm coming to Danbury.
Let's hope he don't break his leg, you guys.
I don't want to be like RVD, baby.
You had to bet who would break their leg first, RVD or Dusty.
Seriously. Yeah.
All right, awards. Best match. I went Raven Incredible.
That's unfortunate.
Well, I guess you did probably.
Yeah. I did Mikey and Tommy.
And that's the right answer.
Wrong. Worst match, though, is definitely Spike and the Dups.
Yeah.
Yes, that I agree with.
Best moment, of course, was Dusty's promo.
Yep.
Most 2000 real audio interviews on the web.
Yeah. Christ.
Rising, we got Cyrus, Dreamer, the Impact Players, Dusty, Carino, and his crew.
Put my name on there again, baby. I deserve to be mentioned twice.
2 times.
Wild Bill Watts.
Lady.
I would put Bill Watts on there as well.
Who? Bill Watts? Okay. Stock falling. RVD's epic title reign, sadly, and the Dups.
Well,
yeah. Mitch falling face first into that garage door.
Poor Mitch. 7.5 out of 10 for me on this one. That was a very good episode. Nice little bounce back from last week. Had a couple good matches, a great segment mixed in around the RVD drama.
I'm at 7.5 as well.
I went 7 on this one too.
All right. So that'll do it for us. We'll be back in 2 weeks talking more ECW as we work through the spring on our way to living dangerously. And we'll continue to track the big breaking news of RVD breaking his leg and all the other stuff going on. Dusty Carino, we'll see who's going to – the big question now, too. Who the hell's Awesome going to fight the pay-per-view?
Yep.
Obviously, it was earmarked for RVD. Sabu's gone. So, like, who's there? Dreamer's tied up with – him and Raven are doing something. Most likely, Impact Players are tied up. So who's there to take on? I don't think we can do Tanaka or Spike again. So hopefully something different.
Dusty.
Probably a 3-way of those things.
Yes, Dusty. Let's do that.
Give it to Mid-Bay. All right. Check out everything else on Connection. Stay extreme. Talk to you in 2 weeks. Thanks for listening and watching. Goodbye, baby.